Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Igor Levit's marvelous new disc of Mendelssohn and Alkan. Alkan music, well, one little Alkan and lots of Mendelssohn. It's a wonderful, wonderful recording. Jed Disler for ClassicsToday.com has already reviewed it, and you can run over there and check his review, with which I agree wholeheartedly that this is absolutely magnificent. But I wanted to add my own take to it in case you didn't see the Classics Today review, and also because I just loved it. I was listening to it, back and forth on the train recently, and it's just balm to the soul. It really is. It's beautiful. It consists of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I could just do this very easily. 14 of Mendelssohn's songs without words, drawn from the various books. You get 3 Venetian gondola songs, which are some of the pieces that were the most famous. You don't get the spring song, which is fine with me. You know the spring song, da 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 ba 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 da da. You know that thing. I mean, it's lovely actually when you play it the way Mendelssohn wrote it, if you play it well. But I don't miss it. But you do get some of the darker pieces. Most of these pieces are the ones in minor keys, or a good bit of them, a large number of them. And the reason is because Levit was inspired to make this recording as a result of the October 7th attack on the Israeli settlements by Hamas. And so this was his response to it. And you can see the little like Jewish star there. He writes a very touching little personal thing here in the beginning of the thing, and he's donating the proceeds to organizations which fight anti-Semitism. I am not going to say anything more about the politics of this matter or subsequent events. I am not going to allow anybody to say anything about that. We are talking about music, so don't even go there, because you will instantly be deleted and banned from this channel forevermore. I'm just not going to turn this channel into a circus for the airing of various people's political grievances. This is a beautiful and touching tribute to a tragic event. And let's just leave it at that. Thank you very much. What do you get here? Well, aside from the 3 Venetian gondola songs, which are, they're so beautiful. Mendelssohn's songs without words tend to get, they were salon music for the day, and they everybody sort of treats them as like, Victorian pablum, as it were. And that's really not fair, because they're unbelievably beautiful numbers. Some of them have titles, some of them don't. But among the ones that have titles, you get number 6 from book 3, which is a duet. There's Sadness of the Soul in book 4, an adagio, and a folk song, a lovely, perky, somewhat almost, from Mendelssohn's Scottish style, sort of folk song. It's just number 5 of book 4. And then you get in book 5, the Funeral March. Now, the Funeral March I love. Well, why do I love the Funeral March? Because if you know your Mahler, particularly your Mahler's 5th Symphony, you'll hear a lot of that in this. And you know that Mahler must have known it. And it's not even if Mahler knew it or not, because remember the opening trumpet fanfare, da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, that was first heard in Haydn's Military Symphony. That's a genuine Austrian, trumpet fanfare. And Mendelssohn uses the same rhythm throughout his Funeral March, but the actual melody is full of what we call in the business topoi, which is the plural of topos. That is topics. That is melodic material, gestures that are part of the funeral march world of 19th century Europe. And composers who wrote funeral marches used them freely. Mahler used them freely. So it wasn't, we're used to hearing them, for example, in Mahler's 5th and other places like that, because he was he was so completely suffused with march type music in many of his movements. But composers had access to them and used them freely, and it was part of a culture, a general tradition of writing music symbolizing mourning. You hear it in Beethoven's Eroica Symphony too. Similar things, but this one is particularly prescient, particularly anticipates the Mahler 5th. So anyway, you've got a lot of these mostly gentle, sad, minor key songs without words, and a few of the more radiant and beautiful ones as well. I mean, and they're wonderful. I mean, what's not to love? They're just wonderful, beautiful works that never deserve to be disdained because they were popular in Victorian era drawing rooms or concert rooms, or women played them, or whatever reason. Never mind. And then as a finale, we get one of the spookiest, creepiest, most expressionistic performances of Alkan's Song of the Madwoman by the Seashore, which it's one of the most haunting pieces of music anyone ever wrote, and the perfect embodiment of what it purports to be. In French, it's Chanson de la folle au bord de la mer. Yeah. And in German, it's in German too here, Gesang der Wahnsinnigen am Meeresgestade. Well, the bottom line is, it's how to describe this piece. If you don't know it, you've got to hear it. It's not actually, Alkan, whatever you want to call him, was obsessed with Mendelssohn's Songs Without Words. And he wrote a whole series of pieces in books of like 6, just like Mendelssohn did, called chants, songs. And every one of them ends with a Venetian gondola song, just like Mendelssohn did in several of his books of Songs Without Words. So the influence is there. But the Song of the Madwoman by the Seashore is part of the 25 Preludes, Opus 31. It's number 8, I think. Yeah, is it number 8? Yeah, number 8. And it's a wonderful series of pieces. But this piece particularly is just, I don't know how to describe it. It gets you. You have this soft sound of the surf in the lowest register of the piano, just this sort of grinding boom, 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 boom. It's in a slow Siciliana rhythm. Basically, and then there's just a single wisp of melody on top, da 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 da, and that's repeated over and over again. And it's the sea heard from the perspective of this madwoman who is singing her song and barely perceives the crash of the waves on the beach, and she repeats it over and over again, and then it rises to sort of a scream of horror, this agitation, and then subsides back to where it began. And it's just 5 minutes of unbelievable music, and he plays it to the hilt. He really does. It's a gorgeous, fabulous performance of that. So all in all, this is just a magnificent recording. And I just enjoyed it immensely. And I thank Jed for writing a review that urged me to rush out and hear it, because I don't know if I would have done it otherwise. I'm not, the piano guy in the way he is, and I had other things to do, but I made time for this, and I'm awfully glad I did, and you will be too. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.